The new look of the 76ers. It's not finished yet, but we have the chunk of it. We have the bulk of it. The new look of the 76ers. There are still a lot of discussions to talk about. This Jimmy Butler news that he turned down the 5-year contract offer. I don't know if he really got that offer, to be completely honest with you. Josh Richardson and my discussion on him earlier in my last video that got blown out of proportion. And this young squad and its defense. There is so much to talk about still with this Sixers squad. We have it. We have the new look of the 76ers. Not all of it. Obviously, we are not finished with the product yet and building this roster, but the main pieces are in place. And the thing that I love, the beauty about it is, well, let's put it in comparison to what we just witnessed. We just witnessed a season where at the end of it, JJ Redick's a free agent. You have Jimmy Butler obviously up in the air. Tobias Harris is still a free agent. We didn't know what we were going to look like this season, for this upcoming season. Of course, there's going to be free agents after majority of seasons, but what I love about this is how young we are, and we have a chunk of players that will be here for the next few seasons. We have a roster that will be together, that will be completed with this group of guys moving forward for multiple seasons in a row, and we know what we have. So let's talk about the youth of this squad. Ben Simmons will be 23 next season. Josh Richardson, 26. Tobias Harris will be 26, 27 years old. Horford, of course, a little bit older, in his mid-30s now. And Embiid will be 25, 26 next season. We are young, and we are going like this. We are rising. We have youth that is ascending. If there was one knock on Jimmy Butler, his best days were probably behind him. Now, I'm not going to pretend like I didn't want him. Now that we have Al Horford and we went with a different direction, I'm not going to bash Jimmy Butler as if I didn't want to run it back, as if I didn't want him here, because I know that he provides something that not every ball player has, and it's his attitude and his swag when it comes to playing the game of basketball. Not everyone is born with that sort of swag to him, and it completely changes a squad. It changes a team, and it changes what to do with fourth quarter opportunities and down the stretch in basketball games. But regardless, he's not here, and there's reports that he turned down the 5-year offer from the 76ers. Tom Haberstroh pretty much reported this, and you also have Woj reporting that there was no offer. So realistically, listen, there's so many different reports, and you need to know that this is somewhat of a game when it comes to the media. And I'm not saying this happened or that happened, but I'm going to lay out a scenario. Woj, who is very well respected, if not the most respected person in the NBA when it comes to reporting and putting out news, claims that there was no offer from the 76ers. If you are in the Sixers management, to save face, you might throw it out there, hey, listen, we offered it to him, and then the report goes out there, and it's a different outlook. I'm not saying we did offer him. I'm not saying we didn't offer him. But a more respected guy claimed that we didn't, and that's just the nature of the beast, and it seemed like we had it set out in stone to begin with. As soon as Jimmy Butler was signed and traded, Al Horford was picked up. Like, it seemed like it was already in place at the time of the deadline. Like, we were doing this. This was the move. We were signing Tobias Harris. We gave up too much to acquire him. We're not just going to let him walk. He's 26. He's younger, and he's definitely going on the rise. We can package him up with Embiid and Ben Simmons and get other pieces and get Josh Richardson, and we can have a youthful group that is going to be a package for quite some time together, and let's rock and roll with it. It seemed like to me that this was the cards going into this thing, as if signing Jimmy Butler wasn't really in the plan to begin with, as if there was some sort of disconnect between Brett Brown and Jimmy Butler, whatever the case may be. I don't know if I'm buying the fact that he did not accept the 5-year offer. Like, I didn't believe the Sixers even offered it. The direction wasn't to go that way. to the start. That's how I personally see it. I'm excited. I'm excited for this team to be together and know, for the most part, the bulk of the roster moving throughout the years. I've said this before. It all comes down to Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. There's other holes right now. We pick up Kyle O'Quinn for a veteran minimum, which is nice, but we need a point guard, and everyone's so scared. Should we just go get someone like TJ McConnell? Well, guess what? TJ McConnell is going to get a little bit of a payday, a little bit more than what the Philadelphia Sixers are going to offer, to be completely honest with you. So I don't know if that's even going to be a possibility, but you see players like Isaiah Thomas go out for a one-year deal to Washington. These are the type of guys that we're realistically going to have to take a shot with based off of how much salary cap that we have left and the role that we need to fill. So Elton Brand has a lot on his plate here. We need to find bench guys, a backup point guard. We need to find players to step in and be role players, and there's not much out there left, so we're going to have to be on top of the game when it comes to that. But I love where we're at, and I love the fact that we have young guys going together. Now let's talk about Josh Richardson and the video I made yesterday talking about Josh Richardson. It's funny because it's getting blown out of proportion. Bro, do you think Josh Richardson stinks? You should see how he plays. I know how he plays. And I said he moved around a lot, not in terms of teams and being traded, in terms of what he did last year. He moved around a lot in his role as if, he started out the season so hot. He was knocking down shots. He was this guy. He turned into a closer. It got abysmal looking, and he went cold. He went on a tough stretch there. So maybe moved around a lot was a poor choice of words to describe what I meant. If he can be consistent, if he could be what he was last year and in that hot stretch, if he could be consistent, that would be outstanding. He's a great defender. This team is going to thrive off defense. We just watched the Toronto Raptors win the championship based off their defense. Now, they knocked down shots too, and they had a superstar, which helps, but defense was big, and we're going to have that. And Josh Richardson is a fantastic defender. I'm not here to knock Josh Richardson. I said it 5,000 times. I think Josh Richardson is going to help this team tremendously. He's a great two-guard, and if we can find a Danny Green player to either put off the bench and shooting guard or put Danny Green in the starting lineup, that just makes us that much deeper. If someone like Josh Richardson could come off the bench, that just helps his depth and helps his team. I'm not saying he's not a starter. I said a million times that he can play and help this ball club tremendously. You just hear what you want to hear. I said don't put him in this big praise. He doesn't shoot it as well as J.J. Redick. He's not a legitimate, insane sharpshooter like that. He's not a dog like Jimmy Butler. He's a different type of player. But he can show inconsistency at times. He needs to be a legit, consistent guy like he was at times last year. And yeah, that would be tremendous. Good player. I like it. I'm a fan of it. This team is solid. We have a great starting five. There's no denying it. But Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, it comes down to that. Charles Barkley talked about it forever on I believe it was even ESPN he went on as well. He went on ESPN. He went on some Philadelphia sports stations and got interviewed. It comes down to that. Of course, I think we need to add some depth to this bench as well. But it's simple. And it's a common theme, a common discussion around here right now in Philly. Who's going to be the guy? Who's going to be it? Who's going to take over? Who's going to get that big bucket? Is it going to be Embiid? Is Embiid going to be in shape? Can you get that big bucket that you need through your center late in ball games? Is that how the NBA works these days? There's a lot of questions, and I'm intrigued. I love the Ben, Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris, Al Horford, and Embiid thing. Al Horford is pumped to play the 4 position. That's something that he didn't do too much of in Boston. He played that 5. Of course, we're going to need him to slide the 5 at times with Joel Embiid, but he'll be able to play the 4 position. He's going to be a tough defender. This team is going to be tough when it comes to playing defense. You watched Marc Gasol last year, and we claimed Marc Gasol is an elite defender when it comes to playing tough, playing hard, playing a big role, but he's not what he was. He's not what he was when he was playing at the defensive player of the league level. But guess what he did last year? He changed the outcome of that Raptors team. Kawhi Leonard was obviously the biggest pickup for the Raptors. Marc Gasol flew under the radar for a difference maker and why they won a championship. Al Horford can bring that style of play to this Sixers squad. He can help Embiid. Think about in practice. Dude, this is what you did to me last year. Now, why is that so effective? They can communicate. Al Horford can say, listen, because you're doing this. You need to take the ball here. You need to use your body this way to block this side out. It's going to be big for his development. Where do we go from now? We need to wait. There's rumors that Kawhi Leonard to the Lakers thing, which it is what it is if that's the case. But Danny Green is waiting to see where Kawhi is going, to see if he'll stay in Toronto or if he'll hit free agency. But we need guys off the bench. We need a backup point guard. We need to sign some vets at the minimum price. But I like where we're at. I like the fact that the new look of the Sixers is going to be together for some time. I like the fact that their youth is in play, mid-20s. That's some years to play together, get that comfort level, ride with the flows of the season, learn each other, and be able to play with each other for years to come. We have substance in our roster. We're not going to have a million free agents. What's Jimmy Butler going to do? What's this going to happen? Where's that? It's not going to be to this extreme every offseason. We have a roster in play for years to come. We know what the Sixers are going to look like. And for a quick turnaround, that's beautiful work out of Elton Brand. I said if he doesn't offer Jimmy Butler the max, he's a fraud because we need him. And I'll say this, if he didn't offer the max, but this roster was in play the entire time, okay, I'll live with that. If he did offer him the max and Jimmy decided to walk away, which I really don't think that's the way it went down. But whatever, then he offered it. But at the end of the day, all right, I'll give Elton Brand a nod. He made a change, but the change is legit. And I'm a fan. So, with that being said, let me know your thoughts. See you guys next time.